Huzzah! Woo! Hey everybody, welcome to Infinity Evolved Skyblock. I'm Exonerated. Man, the stuff that I have been doing. And yeah, let me drop down. Turn back on my bar. Did some more expanding of the storeroom. That's what I'm calling it for now. It's temporary. I'm going from this to IE or this to advanced applied energistics. That's the word. I'm going from this system to applied energistics. I do not think I'm going to use logistics pipes. Mostly, I don't like them. Overly complicated for no reason. And so to avoid that, I'd rather just go straight to applied energistics, and I will. Let's see. I've expanded the machines over here. And I expanded the machines because I wanted a jetpack. So let's talk about jetpacks real quick. Let's not use the cap lock key. There we go. Jetpacks aren't too terribly bad. But you start off the first tier needing coal chunks. So coal chunks, you just pulverize some coal. And then add it, surround it around flint, get a coal ball, compress it, you get coal chunks. Okay, that's no problem. I can do that all day, every day. Get to tier 2, however, and you need a reactant dynamo, which requires uranium. And that required a whole nother rabbit hole. So the first thing I had to build was an ore washing plant. And what we do is we stick in the crushed uranium ore that we get from sifting, and add a little water to it, and over time it generates tiny piles of lead dust, stone dust, which, as far as I'm aware of, can only be used to make like Ender IO piping, and then you take the purified ore. Sorry, this has to happen right now. And I know there are ways to do this, but I don't want to change my search screen. So, deal with it. Alright. There we go. Feeling much better about that. Okay. So anyway, we take that and we put that in this thermal centrifuge. Well, the thermal centrifuge required a turning table, and a turning table required a manual kinetic generator. So for the turning table, I had to make a lathing tool. And in order to get the lathing tool, you need to get a lathing form. I wonder if it'll show that. Nope. Okay, so I made a lathing tool. That required a piece. Oh, I know why. Because I had to make a mining laser. We're going to have to do this anyway. Thermal centrifuge. Alright, so our thermal centrifuge required a mining laser. All this other stuff, no big deal at all. You know, it's just iron and some coils, etc. So mining laser required an advanced circuit. That's not too hard. Energy crystal, again, that's not hard. That's just diamond dust and redstone. And then an iron turning blank, which we put into the turning table, and we cut this pattern out of it, and we pull it out, and all is right with the world. So we make our mining laser, we get our thermal centrifuge, and then we process some uranium. Which, actually, that's kind of cool how it processed full stacks. Anyway, I got tiny piles of uranium-235, a lot of uranium-238. That required me to build a suit. I had to build the... Who makes this? Industrial Craft makes it. I had to make the Industrial Craft suit that would protect me from uranium so I wouldn't get poisoned. And yeah, so we did that. Then we progressed through the jetpacks. Here we go. We get back into here. Of course, we got to make the next engine. It also requires uranium. Top tier, though, doesn't require uranium, but it does require fluxed electrum blend, which is just electrum dust. Add redstone to it. So none of this terribly hard. I got to the top tier pretty quickly. Did not customize the particles. Required some expansion on my part. So down here, of course, you know I have the ore set up all ready to go. And the water and clay, I think I've shown you that. But anyway, it required some more machines. So I went through and I needed a way to pulverize and redstone furnace. I wanted to add them right into our system. So that's what this guy is. He just sits right here. And I can preload things in that I want cooked and preload things in that I want dusted. And they go right into our little system over there. Then I found that I needed aluminum, a lot of aluminum. And the best way to make aluminum for me was in a cyclic assembler. So what I did was I placed a pattern, or not a pattern, a schematic. And I've got one you can see for Enderium also. And I placed it in here. And I set up the magma crucible to liquefy into a tank. And you can see I made an extra tank of glowstone rather, and redstone. And I had another one of ender pearls that I just burned out. And so basically, like, I just quick crafted all of that to get a ton of aluminum, just in case I needed it. Over here, Enderium, which of course I needed. I also went ahead and made some energetic alloy and some signalum, which was nice. And actually, I'm getting ready to craft a whole tank of signalum. So, put a bunch of electrum and did some other stuff. So basically, I just trying to mass craft some metal, as it were, to try to stay ahead of things. And then I found I'm burning through redstone way faster than I get it. I mean, even now, it ran all night, and I'm up to 330 blocks. But 330 blocks, just in case you were wondering, for that tank right there of redstone, liquid redstone, and I've gone through 3 of them, it takes something along the lines of 120, well, it's 128 pieces. No, it's 2 stacks of blocks and a little bit dust is what it is. So it's real easy to go through at 330 redstone real quick, and I haven't been able to keep it up. So I decided I was going to start farming for ore. So what I've done here is I've 10, and this took forever. I 10, some redstone ore, some gold. Although I don't need gold as much, I needed it to get diamonds, and I needed diamonds for sure. So it took a lot of crossbreeding, and when you grow them in Infinity Evolved, you have to grow them on top of their own block. So I also had to save enough redstone, or use redstone block. Each one of these ores is 1 redstone block, just like each of these ores is 1 diamond block. The gold is weird. I don't know why I couldn't use a gold block. Instead, it wanted me to use gold dust. And that was actually a kind of a pain for me to get, because I have it set up to auto process over there. So, but anyway, we got our diamond and our redstone, and we've played with some Bontania. So I went through and expanded the platform a little bit. I decided this is where our Bontania setup's going to be. I'm probably going to put witchery right here, because I'm going to need witchery next to even progress into Thaumcraft. So the first thing I did was I went through and I made some day blooms. And do I have my book on me? I do. All right. So the first thing I did was we made some day blooms, and I made 8 of them just to get some mana going. And then I wanted to turn around and make a different flower. I wanted to make the what are those things called? Where are you? End of Flame? Okay, End of Flame's right here. And End of Flames will take a block of coal, but they require mana powder. I was going to skip straight to this, but I couldn't, obviously. So mana powder is not showing up right. Oh, there it is. Mana powder is pretty much any dust into a mana pool turns it into mana powder. I used what's that stuff called? I used gunpowder because I have plenty of it. So I used gunpowder. I made some thermal or some into flames, and then I have my coal coke oven going full time on this just to produce some mana. Yeah. So lots of busy. Lots of busy. How does sheep get out too? Is he in there? Okay. How does sheep get out of here somehow? I went away and found him over here somehow. I'm not quite sure how that happened. Unless he just glitched through the block. I don't know. The farm for Beef Wellington, excessive amounts of stuff. I actually stopped it. The dough produces way faster than the other 3 items. So much so that I think I'm going to actually have to make that a void barrel at some point. Yeah. So at some point I will have to tear those 2 barrels down and make it a void barrel because these other 3 don't quite keep up. This was full at... not full. This was at... How many stacks was you? How many... Ooh, I've got these set to 1920. Let me turn that back on for a while then. Yeah, I didn't realize I had it set that high. So anyway, each of these was around 890 stacks. And, well, this was at 890. These guys were at like 650. And so that's what made me think, all right, this one's going to overfill way quicker than this guy. Yeah. So, been piling on the experience whenever I see it. In fact, let me go ahead and dump this. Turned off the wood farm for now. I popped the power cord to it, mostly because I'm sitting on something like 11,000 oak wood. Oh, almost 12. And let's check out our production here. I wanted coal coke. I don't need that much creosote oil at all. I don't get it. But I was having a hard time. It won't let you just apply a void fluid pipe to the outside of this coke oven. So what I did instead was I just used a transfer node into a portable tank and then set that to always expel into a void pipe. And that works just fine. So basically, I just wanted to be able to set this guy up to burn coal whenever I needed it, which is pretty much going to be continuously, especially for steel production. So I've got this guy burning coal coke, and plus I also use it over in our Into Flames over there. So, yeah, that's a lot of talking, but I wanted to show you guys everything that I had been doing. I've been very, very busy. Changed the dirt over to a barrel. We're going to start auto-sifting that soon. The other thing I want to start doing soon is crafting more of this stuff so that we can start sifting it, so that we can incorporate it also into our wall. We're going to need a lot of quartz, especially when we get into applied energistics. So let's go check this out here. We've got our compass. That's going to be easy, but we don't need it. Storage cell. And you enrich sunarium. Let's go down the rabbit hole here. Advanced solar panels. Molecular transformer. All right, we need a molecular transformer. Let's check this guy out. Learn to spell. Molecular transformer from advanced solar panels. Wow. Advanced circuits. Okay, no problem. Advanced machine casings. Also no problem. EV transformer. Not really a problem. Iron and extruding. We can do that all day. MT core. Let's check this guy out. Thick neutron reflector. Copper plates, neutron. Okay, that's easily doable. We can do that part. What about irradiant glass, irradiant uranium, uranium ingot? Well, where do we get you guys from? Oh, just smelting the ore gets us uranium ingots. That's not hard at all. That's Honestly, a lot less hard than I thought it would be. Reinforced glass is glass with advanced alloy. And I just made a bunch of advanced alloy too. Also went through and made some petroleum dust and blitz powder because I needed that for the jetpack. Which that wasn't real hard. The powders. Show you those real quick. So the blitz powder, everyone knows. Okay, it's redstone into a snowball. The blitz powder is redstone into sand. Super easy. And the petroleum, well, it's basalt's powder rather, and it gets turned into petroleum, but it's just redstone into obsidian dust. So those are all super easy. They just added those. I did get a ring of magnetization because I got tired of losing things into the void. So let's see what we can do about this. Let me drop that tiny dust there. Let's take off this jetpack. Too fast. Oh, and I made a redstone solar helmet, mostly because I was flying around super fast. Super fast. Alright. Let's go chuck this into our redstone furnace. Will you cook? You will. Will you turn into uranium? You will. Alright, so what machine were we making? Oh, add applied energistics. Let's look at it again. We need the tool here, the nether quartz wrench. Or the Certus quartz wrench, rather. Galgadorian metal. We need to look at this. Large lump of Galgador. Lump of Galgador. Okay, stabilized metal. That's kind of a pain, but I can make that no problem. Eye of Galgador. Slime. Slime. Where do I get slime from? Let's check her out. Cactus inside of a mana pool with an alchemy catalyst. And that's going to require some blood magic. Further down the rabbit hole. Alright, well, we need blood magic next then. So let's consider blood magic and where we're going to play blood magic at. Don't think, because I want witchery right here. And I think Thorncraft is going to go right there. Maybe there. Maybe right here. Maybe I put the blood altar like right here in the middle. That would be kind of cool. Let's look at what we need to make an altar. Blood magic. Alright, we need an altar. It requires an attuned stone from witchery. Nope, we are getting into witchery next. Alright, let's get into witchery next. And now we know why I have the jetpack. So for witchery, we're going to need to make an altar. And we're going to learn to spell eventually. Witchery. Where are you, little altar? Altar right there. Wow, we're going to need Witch's Oven before we even get started. It requires a fire crystal from Thorncraft. How do we get those shards? Nether brick with a hammer. How do we get nether brick? Let's check that out. Nether brick comes from nether rack. We get nether rack. How do we get... There we go. Redstone into gravel. Oh, this is the way I used it before, I believe. Redstone into a bucket of lava. Let's give that a go. I can do that all day, every day. Let's grab ourselves a stone barrel. We'll grab ourselves 2 stacks of redstone. And we'll pop some tools away. In fact, we will pop some tools away. Put you away. Don't need you right now. Don't need you right now either. Or you. Okay. Oh, should have put you away. Okay. We're going to go down below. We're going to take off our hover pack because we don't need it right now. We're going to go down below. And we got this fancy setup here for lava generation. Look at that. And let's set it up to automatically... No, we can't automatically craft nether brick just yet, but here we go. We're going to pop our little barrel right here. It's full of lava. This is going to be easy. Yeah. Alright, let me knock this out. I'll be right back. Alrighty, and we're back, and I've got... Yay, nether brick! I'm cooking it up. And I have a feeling I'm going to need more anyway, so I got my hammer. We're going to go ahead and make little strives to do what we can do. This is going to be a tedious process, so we're definitely going to have to open a portal to the nether, even though I've been avoiding it. Let's see, we need our... I had to make more fluid ducts so I could get both sides of the lava gen working. Let's see, witchery. Alright, witch's oven. Requires a fire crystal, no problem. We can do that now all day, every day. Man of steel, no problem. Alchemical furnace. Alchemical furnace. How do I craft thee? Why do I feel like that's going to be a pain? Alchemical, whoops. Alchemical. Can I spell? No, I can't. Alchemical. Where are you at, you? There you are. Alright, we're going to need a Thaumonomicon. We're going to need a wand. Let's make a wand. Wrong nuggets. Alright, let's make some iron wand caps. See if this is still the way. It is still the way. Let's go ahead and grab a stick. Where are you? You're right there. Let's make our wand. It's amazing how much different things, or how many rather, different things. I can English. How many different things we need to do what we gotta do. Let's grab some more paper. Looks like we're gonna be building these areas simultaneously. So we'll probably end the episode on that note. And I just need one more book. There we go. Let's go ahead and craft our bookshelf. We need this to make our Thaumonomicon. And bank. There we go. We got our Thaumonomicon. Alright, so I hate Thaumcraft, or rather, I hate the tedium in this version of Thaumcraft. And it's got to be even more exacerbated just simply because it's Affinity Evolved Skyblocks. So, we have to work through this area here to get to the alchemical furnace, basic alchemy rather. Alright, we can get our cauldron, we can get our crucible, no problem, all day, every day. Balance shard. Alright, what about, it's probably in here. So, I am going to be busy. Alright, so I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and end the episode here. And what I'm going to do is take off my solar helmet. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plan out an area for witchery behind me. In fact, I'll show you where we're going to put them. We're going to put witchery right here. We're going to set up Thaumcraft maybe in the corner. And then why not? We'll go ahead and wrap the... Actually, this space right here would be really good for an altar. It's perfect size. So these... Jet back on. These 9 grids right here, we'll make this into our altar. We'll put Thaumcraft over here in the corner because it deserves to be in timeout for sucking. And we'll put witchery right here. Nice big place to set up our altar, along with our little chalk outlines and everything else. So let me do some more work. And when we come back next episode, we'll actually be able to dig into some of those mods a little bit after we have some infrastructure going. So hope you all enjoyed the episode. If you did, don't be afraid to leave a like. If you didn't, okay, leave a like anyway. That'll tell me that I should do better. Wink, wink. Yeah. So until next time, guys. Catch you later. Bye-bye.